What's going on, Flix Talkers? Welcome back to another movie review. And as you guys can read in that title, I had an amazing time with Venom, Let There Be Carnage, or as I like to say, Venom 2. I'm just going to be calling it Venom 2 from now on, guys. I'm just going to get this directly out of the way. I left the theater and I am on a Marvel high like no other, especially about that post-credit scene. We will get to that. We will get to that. But before we all do get into this, guys, make sure to hit that big thumbs up if you guys do appreciate movie reviews and content like this. It's the best way to support the channel, by the way, and it does spread these videos out to those that aren't subscribed. And if you yourself aren't subscribed, consider hitting that subscribe and bell notification today to always get alerted about movie news, movie reactions, music reactions, live chats, and so much more here on the channel. And even before we get into the review, guys, just know that it is going to be a spoiler-free review. I'm just here to let you know my overall thoughts without ruining the movie, because it's either my job to let you know to check out this movie only in theaters or not to check out this movie, or maybe wait for it to come on a streamer or VOD. Okay, so all of that out of the way, let's get some of the people behind the camera some shine, and that's starting with Andy Serkis. Now, you guys probably know him as Gollum. You guys probably know him as Caesar. You guys probably know him as an actor first and foremost. So to me, this was his directorial debut, because I know he has a couple other projects. I have not checked it out, and I will just get this out of the way. The biggest thing that either people loved or hated, in this case, this ADD child loved this movie only being 90 minutes. I absolutely loved it because we got our complete fill of what, at least this is all my personal opinion, by the way, of what I wanted to see in a Marvel movie, guys, all right? So I will just say my theater was semi-packed, but it was definitely packed with Marvel fans. Now, I know that these Sony projects are in association with Marvel. They're Marvel movies. They're not Marvel Studio movies, but they are Marvel properties, all right? So I went into this excited, but I kind of set my bar a little low because the first Venom wasn't for everybody, and it still really isn't for everybody. I kind of fell in love with the character. I fell in love with how much Tom Hardy himself embraced this Eddie Brock Venom character. I absolutely loved the duality of him, and I even loved him even more, and that's redundant, I love them even more in this sequel, guys, because they play off each other so damn well. Symbiote aside, they are connected, they are one. They are one and the same. They amped it up so much more in this, and I think Andy Serkis did such a great job really paying homage to like comic books. And I'm not a comic booky guy, but the first 10 minutes was very, very fast paced. It seemed like we were flipping pages in a comic book. Let me know if you guys do in the comments below. Did it seem very, very comic booky to you, at least in the first act? I know throughout I got a little more glimpses kind of a comic booky feel, more than what I can say for other Marvel movies, that some scenes are just extremely drawn out, and that's why those movies are like 2 hours, 2 hours 20 minutes, 2 hours 30 minutes. Avengers was almost damn near 3 hours. It's like 90 minutes, you get your fill. I really do enjoy that. It's like a breath of fresh air sometimes, especially when it comes to a Marvel movie. Usually 90-minute movies are reserved for thrillers and horror movies. I don't know why. They always like to do that. And that's not saying that this movie does not have thrilling and horror aspects. It definitely does. And that kind of jumps to my next kind of, it's either probably the biggest gripe or not of this movie. I'm really still on the fence. Is it's PG-13. Personally, I understand on a business level making this movie PG-13, and once again, I was in a theater full of people my age as well as young kids. So I understand they drugged their parents because everyone was wearing Venom and Spider-Man shirts. Everyone, literally everyone, from little kids to grown-ass adults, even older than me, were really embracing this property, this character. They love these anti-heroes. They really do love seeing them on screen, whether you like the CGI or not. I know it was a little dodgy in the first one. I would say it got better in the second one. You kind of don't notice it maybe too much. It's a little more fluid. I don't know. I can't remember the first one too much. It might be exactly the same, but I did like this character so much that I didn't mind it whatsoever. So we're introduced to Carnage, played by Woody Harrelson, Cletus Kasady, and I thought he did great. Now, I don't know anything about the comics once again. I just know that this character here played someone who was definitely being sentenced to death row for being a maniac, a mass murderer, a serial killer. Yeah, they do a nice little backstory, once again, in the comic book vein style, an animated overlay, whatever you want to call it, about Cletus Kasady's terrible, toxic upbringing. And I just was like, whoa, I can understand why he's a killer. I thought it was perfect casting. I love Woody Harrelson. I'm not trying to be biased. Like 90% of Woody Harrelson movies I've seen, he does a great job. He's just a phenomenal actor overall. And I think he did embrace his character a lot, all the way up until the bitter end, the third act of the movie. I thought he did a really good job. He didn't slack in it. And let's talk about his counterpart, played by Naomie Harris as Frances Barrison. Now, someone that I really, I've seen her in other movies, but this is kind of a role that she's definitely not, she's stepping into the MCU world now. I mean, she's stepping into the Marvel associated world. I don't even know what you want to call it. Association of Marvel world as Shriek. I thought she was cool. She had an interesting backstory, but sometimes when you get these side superheroes or anti-heroes, they're not really focused on too much, but I like the dynamic with her and Cletus. I will just say that. Her power alone wasn't the most effective. It wasn't the most like, hey, I can use this superpower in everyday situations. It only works, in certain situations. That's kind of, and you see it at play in this movie. You see when it works, you see when it doesn't work. But it was kind of cool. I will just say that it was kind of cool. And I'm being introduced to these characters for the first time. Now, another guy we're introduced to, I've seen him definitely before. It's Stephen Graham playing Detective Mulligan. Now, he's cool, man. He's definitely someone that's on the case, a hard ass. He has a backstory too, but him and Tom Hardy, Eric Brock, are working side by side to kind of figure out the method to the madness of Cletus, and maybe if they can discover some clues, about where he hid these bodies, because he's a serial killer, but they haven't found the bodies. That's the whole thing. I don't know if they touch on that at all in the trailer, but he's someone that's wanted for all of these murders, but he is being put on death row. But there's more bodies kind of hidden out there. I don't think that's too much of a spoiler. So they're working together to see, because Eddie Brock works for the newspaper. He's like a writer for the pages and whatnot. I don't know what to even call that, a publicist, or I don't really know the proper term for what Eddie Brock is, but he's trying to uncover the truth and figure out as much as he can. So once again, this movie is very rapid pace, at least in the first act, to kind of, boom, this is happening. Now we have our conflict. Now we have to get this. Now we have to get that. And I like that fast pace. Once again, Andy Serkis, I think he did an amazing job, my friend. I had such a good time with this. And seeing all the bad reviews, seeing all my cinephiles friends in the thumbnail like this, I don't know, Carnage. I think everyone's just eating the shit sandwiches of these vlogs and blogs and whatever have you. Go into it having some damn fun. Stop being such a movie critic and just have fun with this. I was chuckling. I was screaming. The action sequences were fantastic. And that post-credit scene. I know they always say, don't judge the whole movie just based on the last part of it, because that's usually what sticks to you, right? But that post-credit scene made me so happy to be a Marvel fan, especially in Phase 4. And everybody was screaming. Everybody was saying, let's go! They knew it. This was one of the better post-credit scenes I have seen in such a long time, guys. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I had fun with Venom 2. Let There Be Carnage. Definitely check it out. Only in theaters. Go out and support that experience, guys. It was great seeing Michelle Williams again, back as Anne. She kind of has some, things that they kind of tie up some loose ends along the way, but she has a little integral part along with, Dr. Dan Lewis, played by Reid Scott. They're together and whatnot. So they're moving on, but they do have closure and whatnot. I thought it was nicely wrapped up with the bow, but we got to see action and all of this conflict with Venom and Eddie Brock, and awesome, funny scenes along the way about them kind of butting heads once again and working together. And once again, I can't believe all of this happened in 1 hour and 30 minutes. Andy Serkis, you did a beautiful, masterful job, my friend, and I can't neglect Tom Hardy. He also did a fantastic job once again as Eddie Brock. People don't like this character. Some love it, some hate it. I really do dig this character, and he actually wrote this story. He was one of the writers on this story for Venom 2. It said that in the credits. I thought the score was amazing. Whoever did the score, fantastic. There was a song with Eminem at the end of the movie. What is there to bicker about? This movie was fun. This movie was really, really good. And all of that being said, don't want to make this too long, guys. I will give Venom Let There Be Carnage a solid 4 out of 5, saying I'm definitely adding this one to my collection. I don't even have the original in my collection, but I do want to go back and watch the first one to kind of compare them because I haven't seen it in a couple of years. But this one's definitely going in my collection, guys. 4 out of 5. You should always support that movie theater experience. Go out, get your popcorn, get your red vines, get your slushies, Slurpees, get all of that good stuff. Sit your ass down, have a good time, and let me know what you guys think about Venom 2 when you do watch it in the comments below. And if you guys did appreciate my review and thoughts on Venom Let There Be Carnage, let me know by liking the video. It's the best way to spread these videos out to those that aren't subscribed. And if you yourself aren't subscribed, consider hitting that subscribe and bell notification today to always get alerted about future videos like this. I'm gone. Till next one. I can breathe now. Marvel made a pretty damn good movie, guys. I will say that. Peace.